The word of the day is home run. It's the most definition, the most dominant hit in baseball. An example is Babe Ruth hit 4 for 4, including 2 hits, 1 double, and a huge home run. I'm supposed to get you warmed up, and since we're talking about baseball and home runs, we can talk about the greatest athlete ever, the greatest baseball player ever, and there's no question who it is, Babe Ruth. In football, getting half a dozen players that are all comparable. In basketball, same thing. Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, they're all grouped together, but nobody comes close to doing what the Bambino did, Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth is hitting here, he's pitching here. When he was a young man, he started pitching. He was an orphan, was 8 years old. Some people say he was a bad boy, others say he was bad, had a bad father. In any case, he became a pitcher, and he pitched against Walter Johnson, who was considered the best baseball player ever, and he held his own as a young pitcher. He then became a hitter. He was hitting home runs so often, they put him in the outfield to be there every single game instead of every 4th game. And he set all kinds of records. Some still stands. People broke his home run record in total home runs, but nobody broke the record 3 different times. As a pitcher, he set the record for consecutive shutout innings in the World Series. And he set the record for number of shutouts in the season, the left-hander, which still stands. Did 4 things that no other player did in one year or the other. He had the best earned run average, the best win-loss record as a pitcher, and as a hitter, he had the best average and the most home runs. In addition to that, he was the best slugger. What is a slugger? That's the number of runs divided by the number of times they bat. For example, if you're at bat 10 times, you get 2 doubles and home run. You get 3 for 10, 300 average. But the 2 doubles constitute 4 runs. The home run, 4 runs. That's 8. 8 out of 10. He did that 2 consecutive years. Nobody ever did that. And he holds the slugging average. Nobody comes close to Babe Ruth, a Hall of Fame pitcher, a Hall of Fame slugger. When he set the record, he was far and away the record holder. Other people come to the finish line. So when you think about home runs, use it in your table topics. You can use it as a figure of speech. For example, Nor hit a home run at the speech contest because she won. Home runs is the highest. Ron and Liz hit a home run every meeting. Liz for all the work she does on the internet for the club, and Ron for all the setups, his video and everything else he does. They are home run hitters. Try and use it in figure of speech. Now let's go to the assignments, and I think I'll need some help here. We have Tony D is not here, the joke master. Anybody have a joke for us? Ken.
You ready for it now?
Yeah.
Of course.
I thought you were going to go over the schedule. Well, this is about a couple of guys that are baseball fanatics. Their whole life has been nothing but baseball. When they were kids, they played in kids baseball leagues in high school and college, and then went on into professional. And they just, after they retired, they still went to all the baseball games that they could possibly go to. And they're sitting at this one baseball game, and one says to the other one, he says, you know what I wonder? He said, I wonder if there's going to be baseball in heaven. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Baseball in heaven. Boy, I sure hope so. He says, let's make a pact. The first one of us that passes away somehow has to come back and tell the other one whether or not there's baseball in heaven. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. All right, that's a pact. Well, as time went on, one of them did pass away, and the other guy is sitting at a baseball game one evening, and he hears, Tony? Turns around. Tony, it's me. I'm up in heaven. Yeah, really? Oh, it's good to hear from you. He says, I got some good news for you and some bad news. What's the good news? He says, there is baseball in heaven. Oh, really? What's the bad news? You're pitching tonight.
Oh.
another volunteer for a joke? Our guest, would you like to say your joke?
Just do it. I can do it.
Sure.
I actually had a baseball joke too. This, you have to go back a few years, maybe about 10. There's 3 baseball writers, one for the Cubs, one for the Red Sox, and one for the White Sox. Neither of those teams have won for a long, long time. The Red Sox have the curse of Bambino, haven't won for about 80 years. Cubs went 100+ years without winning World Series, and the White Sox are Indians, 50, 60 years. Well, they're on their way to the All-Star game, and there's a terrible accident. They're all immediately killed. They go before their maker, and the first one happens to be the Indian writer, the writer for the Cleveland Indians, and he said, you know, I was on this earth for 50, 60 years, and the Indians won 1 championship in all that time when Bob Feller pitched for them. When are they going to win the World Series again? And God says, well, I'm sorry. It's not going to be in your children's lifetime. Well, the man thanks God. And next one up is the Red Sox, and Red Sox writer. He said, God, we have been suffering for so long with the curse of the Bambino, 80 years since the Red Sox won the World Series. When are they going to win another World Series? God shakes his head. Said, I'm sorry, it's not going to be in your children's lifetime. It's not going to be in your grandchildren's lifetime. The man thanks God. And the next one is the Cubs writer. And he said, God, it's been over a century since the Cubs last won the World Series, 1908. When are the Cubs going to win another World Series? God just looks up. I'm sorry. It's not going to be in your children's lifetime. It's not going to be in your grandchildren's lifetime. It's not going to be in my lifetime. But they won last year.
Very good, very good. Okay, let's move on. Ron is our educational tip. You'd like to say it now?
Oh yeah, I already did it actually.
Okay. Next is we have a grammarian. Ken will be grammarian and the Oz counter. Want to tell us what you do?
Yeah, the job of the grammarian is to listen for grammatical errors when people say or any kind of a noise or pause while they're talking or thinking, and give a report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. Vote counter is Mike G. Mike, want to tell us what you do?
Count the votes.
That all? Okay, we have 2 of the 3 speakers. Bertha's here. Bertha, if you have an outline, a goal intro for yourself for the your evaluator, which is Mike Ball. And secondly, Jessica's not here. Question.
Timer?
Oh, a timer. We need a timer. Who volunteers? We need a volunteer because John is not here. Anybody want to be a timer?
I'm evaluating if I can.
Ask for who doesn't have an assignment.
You know what? I can be a timer if Jessica doesn't show up, because I'm supposed to be evaluating her.
Is
Okay,
Jessica
I'll put you
coming?
down, Timo.
She
She
not
sent an email. She said she might not be able to make it.
Timo and Timo's a timer. Now, what did you say about somebody else?
Sorry?
What did you say about somebody else? doing?
Jessica probably won't be showing up. She sent me an email that she might not be here.
Okay.
And I was supposed to evaluate her.
Okay, I'll delete you from the evaluator. Number 2, Raj is speaker number. Bertha is speaker number 1. Raj is speaker number 3 or number 2 now.
Actually, I may not be quite ready for my
You don't want to do it?
Yeah, I'm not quite ready.
No. Okay.
Yes.
I'll volunteer to be a speaker unless somebody else wants to. Anybody else want to give an impromptu speech? If not, I'll do one. I'll be number 2. My evaluator will be Andre.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, Andre.
Andres.
Andreas. Thank you. And let's see, time, etc. That pretty well takes care of everything. At this point in time, I'd like to bring up well, I introduced the speakers, right? Bertha.